concerning this issue.
Well, I'd like to move on
I
and
would
get
too.
get the meeting going. If the, Barbara, Rich, do we want to agendize this for a further discussion? Do we
I'd
want
like to move on permanently and put this nonsense behind us.
My feeling is, I have a couple comments too, so we haven't even got to the last of the board comments, but
Oh, crap.
my comment on this is, we allow the public to get up and make comments. You know, the board should be allowed to make comments. Obviously, if you have an item that could be agendized, it should be agendized. But as we go through these meetings, sometimes there's comments that come out of the, general, what do they call it? Public comment, thank you. That come out of the public that probably should be addressed and can be addressed by the board. And probably some concerns by individual board members that can be voiced and addressed at that time. So I think there's a reason we have board comments, and I think this falls under it, in my opinion.
Yeah, I just, again, I have concerns with, we've talked multiple times about having prepared comments. I know I'd done a prepared comment at one point, and, you know, it was, there couldn't be any discussion, any questions, any of that thing. None of that was allowed. It's very hypocritical if we're going to now allow that to happen at this point. It makes me feel like it depends on who the board member is. And if it's something that I say that isn't in favor of other board members or of employees of the water district, then it's no. You can't have that discussion. There can't be any discussion. There can't be any questions. There can't be any comments. I'm asked to sit down, never do that again, slam me on the hand, you know, sitting in the corner, whatever you're going to do. It's so hypocritical to sit here and listen to prepared comments and just allow it to happen. Nothing's said. Nothing, it's not stopped. It just goes on. So it just depends who the board member is, obviously, and whether or not you four sitting there are in favor. Apparently you want to hear this, and so you let it go on and on and on with nothing said. But if I were to do the same thing, I'd be stopped short, as I was before, and told never to do it again. And make sure I provide backup material in order for us to have this discussion. But that only applies to me. It apparently doesn't apply to others.
I haven't tried it yet, for the record.
You're only smart with it. I just
Prepared
it's so
comments is not my
hypocritical for us
forte.
to go this direction. I mean, if they want to put it on the agenda, both of them have the right to do that. To me, it's gone to the state. The state's going to do whatever they're going to do with it. I'm not interested in having that discussion as a board. I have zero interest in that. I'm here to do business of the water district, to discuss water issues. That's what I'm supposed to be doing. We have some very important agenda items that are going to bring out some emotions. People are going to have strong feelings both ways about those, and we need to hear those instead of going back and listening to, you know, if it's your favorite board member or whatever, we have to listen to that, and it's just allowed to go on and on and on. And it's not stopped. Nothing happens. I guarantee if I was the one that did this, it would have been stopped halfway through. And I wouldn't have been allowed to speak any further. So, yeah, it's disturbing. I see the prejudice that exists right here. And it's disturbing. It's, you know, to be treated differently. Wow. Unbelievable.
Any other board comments?
I have some comments. They're not prepared though. They're off the cuff, I promise. You know, as elected, and yes, we are elected officials, even the ones from Bunkerville are elected. As elected officials, we have targets on our backs. And I understand that, and we should be questioned. I absolutely question, not accused. If accused and wrongfully, then retracted. I understand that. I do think that one right that we do have is to be quoted correctly. And I've got to take exception with Mr. McGreer tonight, because the last 2 times he's quoted me, he's misquoted me.
I don't remember quoting you.
You quoted me as saying that when I was a kid, I went up to the mountains and there were water resources there.
No, I never said.
Well then, you better go back and read your articles. And that's not what I said.
Oh, okay. Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay.
You don't remember saying that?
I remember. Yeah, I remember quoting you. I do remember now what you were
So
saying.
that's not what I said.
Oh, okay.
So if you want to go back in the minutes and check it out, that's not what I said.
Okay.
And also you said that I wanted the developers to pay for the pressure problems when in Sun City. That's not what I said. So if you go back and retract those 2, I'd appreciate it, because that's not what I said.
I'll go back and look at that.
Thank you.
Any other board comments? Okay, we'll close board comments, and I'll make a comment. Bubba, I just apologize, you're absolutely correct about the prepared comments. And I agree, as board members, we should not have prepared comments unless we're gonna agendize it. As far as the ethics violation issue, it's been printed in several newspapers, some editorials have been done. As far as it's appropriate, if something needs to be brought before the board, I suppose we can deal with it then. In the meantime, Barbara, Sandra, please address this outside the board meetings. Hold on. And again, Bubba, as far as I remember that incident like at the very beginning when we first started, you did have the slideshow.
Right.
And you were, and you did finish the whole thing.
No, I didn't get it
Oh,
finished.
you did?
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
I thought that was a long PowerPoint.
That was a long PowerPoint, I remember watching.
And I do.
And I agree with the,
And
I
I
agree with
yeah.
the actions we took. I have no problem with
Right.
that it happened. It just bothers me that it doesn't happen to everybody.
No, and I apologize. If something like this happens again, and I mean, sometimes when there's long statements, I've told people before I have attention deficit, give me a couple minutes, and I forgot what I just said. Like just now. But bring it up, and I'll stop it. Because I have nothing against any board members. I mean, I have frenemies. I don't have friends or enemies, I have frenemies. You know, what is it? Friends come and go, enemies accumulate. And like Rich said, we all, the nature of our positions, we all have targets on our back. And that's unfortunate. I just want to deal with the issues of the water district, and that's not happening right now. So
The only other time I ever intend to talk about this situation is when I received the results of the December 16th hearing. I will put it on the agenda, and I will tell the public exactly what the result was either way.
thank you.
And that will be the last time I ever address my position on this water district and my position as at the Battleborn meeting. So I'm tired of it.
You know, I forgot to make one other comment that I had, but I'll wait till next meeting. I don't believe that Barbara questioned Aaron as a matter of not thinking he's qualified. I think she was trying to prove his qualifications because there were some questions as to whether he was qualified prior. So I don't think that was anything that she was trying to do to Aaron derogatorily. But I think it's a little hypocritical for Sandra to get up and call Barbara out on that when Sandra was the one a while back that got into personnel file and quoted from that. So
Oh, that's a low blow.
that,
If I may, I did not get into
Okay.
anybody's, no, wait a minute.
Low
I did not get into anybody's personnel.
Point of
file.
order.
I was called and I was given.
Your president said you're
Guys,
moving
okay,
on.
guys, let's move
I'm not
on.
gonna start talking about me.
Yeah, no, let's move on. We can talk about this outside the board
I
meeting.
did
You
never.
guys,
Too many boards. This is-
do
Please.
we need to take a break?
Well, you're the board.
Okay.
I mean, all you're doing is squabbling up there. That was
Yeah.
the low blow, that last one.
Let's
Point of
move
order,
on.
let's-
Okay, so we're going to close comments. We're going to move on to the consent agenda. We've got the minutes from the 11/13